Pokemon Scarlet was released on the 18th of November 2022. I got the game from the nearest GameStop at the 7th of December the same year and began my first ever playthrough on my second channel. This video is going to be a regular playthrough video but with reviews of the game along the way, so it might be a little random, but hey, that's the name of the channel. The first choice you have is the starter choice. Game Freak decided to make excellent competitive starters, which I appreciate as a regular Pokemon Showdown player. I chose the most disliked starter of the trio, Quaxly, which I don't understand why. I get why people dislike Quaquaval, but the reason why Pokemon is such a successful franchise is because they attempt to make a diverse cast of Pokemon. Some look cool, cute, weird, or anything in between, but that just enhances the experience much more as it provokes much more feeling. You remember the Pokemon you hate and you always have different opinions on Pokemon. Everything does not need to be cool looking. I named the Quaxly Quack Quack, by the way. We meet Nemona, Koraidon, and Arven as we officially set out on our journey. I immediately catch my second team member, Chocolate, the Paldean Wooper. Look at this thing. Just look at it. We go through the insanely long cutscene, receive our 3 plot points as we finally gain access to the open world that is the Paldea region. Quickly, my starter evolved into a Quaxwell as we comfortably beat Cloth. Before we took on the first gym, we sought out our Charcadet, which I named Wanderer. The bug gym was easily dispatched thanks to Chocolate. Our next team member was a Wattrel, which I named Jules. My Paldean Wooper also evolved into a Clodsire, making it the first fully evolved Pokemon. Our next plot point was our first team star raid, taking down Giacomo. I actually lost the first time, but after Jules evolved into a Killer Wattrel, I beat him with my second try. I caught my next team member Tinkating, which I named Titania, and straight away evolved it into a Tinkertuff. The second Titan Bombardier was dispatched thanks to my Killer Wattrel. We get introduced to Arven's sick dog and we promise to scout out Herba Mystica to cure it. We attempt to get our second gym badge as Terrifier Charcadet sweeps Brassius. Next up, thanks to some Clodsire magic, Mela gets defeated as well. I headed to Zapapico to get the Auspicious armor, then traded it for a Malicious armor and evolved Charcadet into a Cerulege. Next, I defeated Iono using a Terra Cerulege to power through her Mismagius. After that, I went ahead to catch my final Pokemon for the team, Chasm the Frigibax. It's also the Dark Terra Frigibax with access to Crunch. I defeated Kofu next using my Terra Killer Wattrel to defeat his Terra Crabominable. While heading to the next Titan, Quaxwell evolved into a Quaquaval and Frigibax evolved into an Arctobax. We defeat the derpy Orthworm and proceed to feed Koraidon and the sick dog more drugs. I went to Medali to next fight the Chad, that is Larry. My own regional bird took down his regional bird down as I claimed my 5th gym badge. Tinkertuff also evolved into a Tinkerton after a few dead Corviknights. We also have a Terra Starter showdown against Nemona, which we win. With 5 gym badges and 3 Titans done, I decide to focus on Team Star, specifically Atticus. Clodsire carries us again as Quaquaval finishes the job. Next up was to practice my epic rap skills. Pro cashier, will mother check out? Must have got your rhymes on a deep discount. Please, you think you can step to my game, fool? I got rhyme right there in my name. I'm a spectre from which there is no protector, and a victory unto me you will render when the crowd sees you're a mere pretender. Oh, you wanna end my reign? Yeah, keep dreaming. Buy a book of rhyme, kids, and start reading. As Terra Cerulege stacked up sword stances along with the bulk of Tinkerton swept Rhyme. I did the Quaking Earth Titan next, but I kinda lost footage, so here's a dramatic reconstruction of events. After that was Eri of Team Star. Another Cerulege sweep took down Eri despite being lower level than her. I made my way to Alfornada and battled and beat Nemona again. We play a demo version of Just Dance 6 as we finally take on Tulip. Chasm and Arctobax was truly the MVP, this time as Tulip falters. Badge 7 acquired. We are introduced to an Elite 4 member and I have serious problems. It's a literal child. What is the child labor laws in Paldea? The fact that she's an Elite 4 is terrifying as it means she completed her education in Paldea, beat all 8 gym leaders and managed to overpower at least 1 Elite 4 member to assume the role of the second Elite 4 member. Holy shit! We decide to take on the last Team Star base, and while doing some training, Arctobax finally evolved into Baxcalibur. Tinkaton finishes off Ortega as we claim our last star badge. I decide to do the last Titan battle, and per routing, Dondozo and Tatsugiri go down. What's next is probably the most well thought character development in a Pokemon game since maybe Hugh from Black 2 and White 2. The emotional and story beats are truly a reminder that it doesn't take a complicated, life-threatening phenomenon to create a well-written character. Anyway, you know the drill. Cerulege sweeps Grusha, who I find out is a dude. Why? With all 8 gym badges, we head to the Elite Four. Quite frankly speaking, this Elite Four, while being good characters, lack any real threat. Rika's ace is a Clodsire, while Larry's is a Flamigo. Hassel was pretty good but nothing too difficult. Also, I will not acknowledge Poppy as the Elite Four member because she is a literal child. Anyways, moving on. Geeta. I think it is pretty unanimous at this point that Geeta is the worst champion of all time. An easy win was to be expected. The Nemona champion fight though? God damn. She leads with a Lycanroc while I lead with my Clodsire. I take a lot of damage, but Earthquake one-hit KOs the Lycanroc. Out comes the Orpheum and I switch into my Cerulege to get off the Bitterblade. The Orpheum lives though and counters with an Earthquake taking us down. I switch into my Baxcalibur to set up a Dragon Dance and go for a Crunch to take down the Orpheum. Out comes the Pawmot and a Dragon Claw leaves it on red HP as Pawmot takes down the Baxcalibur. It almost takes down the Kilowattrel, but Kilowattrel air slash to finish it off. Gudra takes down the Kilowattrel and my Tinkaton finishes off the Gudra. It almost finishes off the Dunsparce, but the Dunsparce leaves and takes us down. Clodsire comes in to get off the Yawn and I bring out my Quaquaval, terrestrialize it and go for 2 Aqua Steps to take down the Dunsparce. We are in yellow HP and out comes the Celadurge. It tears into Fire type. I live on red HP and finally take it down, winning the champion fight with Nemona. Very tense fight. Now being recognized as the region champion, our first act is to dispatch Team Star. We took down Penny, Team Star had this little moment and that was that. Now the final part of this vid, the way home. I recruit the squad and into Area 0 we go. This was by far the best experience I ever had playing a Pokemon game. Slowly descending to the bottom was so mysteriously done and the gameplay wise designed well as well. After disabling the locks at the research stations, we went to meet Professor Sada. Going down the elevator was such an eerie experience, but we reached the bottom, realizing Sada is no longer alive but still treading in existence. She initiates a battle. Professor Sada leads with Slitherwing while I lead with my Tinkaton. Tinkaton goes for a Gigaton Hammer doing just over half HP while it damages me with a Zen Headbutt getting a critical hit as well. I finish it off with Play Rough as she switches into Brood Bonnet. I switch into my Cerulege to get off a Bitterblade. Earth Power does a lot of damage but Bitterblade finish it off and I get some health back as well. Out comes Sandy Shocks and I go for another Bitterblade. Earth Power does a lot of damage and Bitterblade is not enough to get enough healing back, so I switch into my Flying type to absorb a Ground type attack and then switch into my Water type. I then go for an Aqua Step taking down the Sandy Shocks. Out comes Scream Tail and I switch into my Clodsire to tank the incoming Play Rough. I damage it with Poison Jab getting the poison as well as I switch out into my Tinkaton to tank some Ice Punch damage. I then finish it off with Gigaton Hammer, not before taking even more damage thanks to Drain Punch. Out comes the Fluttermane and I decide I should deal with it by bringing out my Clodsire once again. I go for the Yawn because Quick Claw activates and I get the Yawn off. I leave the Shadow Ball on 1 HP and I switch into my Quaquaval to tank another Shadow Ball and then go for my Wanderer again to get Shadow Claw off to tank and finish off the Fluttermane. The last Pokemon she has is a Roaring Moon and I let my Cerulege go down and brought in my Baxcalibur. I go for an Icicle Sphere after terrestrializing into a Dark type to get rid of this rock weakness and then finish off the Roaring Moon. Close to disabling the Time Machine, the Paradise Protection Protocol activates, leading into a 1v1 of the Koraidons. Just like that, we beat Pokemon Scarlet. One of the best main series games ever put out, and quite honestly, when you truly enjoy the game for what it is, all the lag and frame rate issues seem to go unnoticed. With that, I hope you walk away from this video being appreciative of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were. And yeah, have a good day. Bye.